Hey everyone. These videos are never easy to make. After 10 years of doing reactions here on YouTube and creating a bit of a time capsule for a lot of people out there to see how people reacted to things initially once they came out, stuff like that. We the Renegades are not stopping. All right, sorry. Dear God, everyone's retiring. Everyone's either retiring, quitting. Everyone's basically just calling it a career on YouTube, and some hurt more than others. I mean, when I heard that Tom Scott was stopping making videos, I've never been subscribed to Tom Scott, but I've seen some of his videos, and the man is very good at what he does. He is a talented creator, loves what he does, and honestly, the fact I didn't even know he was making videos for 10 years. That's what blows me away, is just, there's so many YouTubers on the platform that I've not heard about, but yet have cultivated these huge audiences over time. And to see them all going out without me having as strong a connection, there's the whole deal with FOMO, fear of missing out. You feel like you've missed out on something truly great, which is a good thing about this platform, because when you discover something new, and even if that person is retired, their whole backlog is still up for you to go through, and
well, barring certain exceptions.
Well, barring certain exceptions, yeah. Someone just getting outright nuked off the platform.
Or just deciding to take stuff down themselves.
Yeah, for instance, Leafy, went nuclear and basically just decided to have YouTube destroy his channel, which, not the smartest decision, but, he knew what he was doing. And then, of course, I look at other ones that have gone here over the last year. I know Tfue, who was really, really prominent for a very long time whenever Fortnite was a big thing. And then there was the whole drama with FaZe Clan that resulted in him being in the middle of a big lawsuit over and everything. He retired. Then before that, Nigahiga, or Ryan Higa, basically just called it a career creating videos, and now just streams full time, which I can't be mad at him. He made a decision on what he wanted to do, and he followed through with it. And getting into more serious ones, Meat Canyon, not an official retirement, but his Goodbye for Now video, which a lot of people have recommended to us, which, here's the thing, I'm always afraid of watching goodbye videos, because it's just like, we haven't watched as much of Meat Canyon as we could have. And I don't know why that is. It's just, for me, I guess it's just one of those things that just never came to be. And then another one that hit earlier, about 4 days ago, Moose Knuckle. And yeah, I know Terrorizer gave his thoughts about it and everything. It's a lot. It's a lot of YouTubers that I greatly respect just gone. Just calling it a career and just being done with YouTube. And it's for different reasons, because I know that Moose stated it was because of his family, which I can't be mad at him over that. I mean, the dude wants to spend more time with his family, and he wants to have a more stable schedule so that He can spend time with his daughter, spend time with his wife. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing at all. And, of course, not only that, but PewDiePie calling it quits. Captain Sparkle's calling it quits. Other YouTubers flirting with the idea of retirement. And it's just, it's almost like the platform has moved out of one era and is moving into another. And I don't know what to think about it a lot of times. But this is one that, I'm not going to say I didn't expect it, but it definitely surprised me. It surprised me with how out of nowhere this was. For, especially given what Matt has been doing, but I gotta be honest, part of me kind of thought that this would be a potential outcome, especially with him selling the majority stake of his channel to a different company, hiring different people to handle different parts of the production pipeline. I mean, Matt's done a lot on YouTube, and he's been creating videos on this platform for well over a decade, and whether you love him or whether you hate him, there's no doubt that he has definitely had a massive impact on the platform. And he released a video called Goodbye Internet, and I guess we're going to see what he has to say. So, without further ado, everyone, this is Matt Pat with Goodbye Internet. Here we go.
It's not clickbait. On March 9th, I'll be hosting my last Theory episode, at which point I'll be handing off the channels to someone else. There it is. That's it. Send tweet. We're all done here. That's all you need to know, right? Oh, wow.
Damn.
Forgive me, by the way, if I'm a little bit more disorganized than usual. Normally, I would want to script out something like this pretty precisely. But with an announcement like this, I wanted to bring it back to just us. There's no one else in the room. There's no teleprompters. There's no nothing. It's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us. And sorry that I keep getting emotional about this. I'll try not to, but it's a big deal. You know, like,
I don't blame you, dude.
if you think about it, this channel is Steph and my first child, really. Before we had Ollie, before we had Skip, Catbat, like, it was this. This was our baby. This channel has been going for 13 years. I think in total it's somewhere around like 1,200 theories, and only half of those are FNAF. Shocking. I know, we actually did stuff that wasn't FNAF related, but this has been a literal third of my life, and I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss this. I value what we have here. I value this conversation, this openness, this relationship that we share. And I'm sad that I won't be able to see you every week. Which then I guess prompts the question of like, why? Why am I doing this now? Why am I making this announcement today? Why am I walking away from the channels? Well, to be honest, it was Tom Scott. You can blame Tom Scott. Tom just did his farewell video and I'm like, well, he was able to do it. I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Obviously, that's not it. But really, my reasons for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkle's, or Papa Meat's, or Stampy Longhead's. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days, and there's going to be a lot more happening throughout this year. Steph and I have known this video would be coming for the last 3 years. We weren't sure it was necessarily going to be today. We didn't know exactly when it would fall, but we knew it was going to happen eventually. That's why over the last couple years we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channels. That's why we've been spending so much time outside of this box training up the team to make the best videos that they can. because we knew that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever. For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend, and we're talking about business logistics. Or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are gonna come out of that. I miss it. So that's a big reason. That was a big one right there. But also just the internet's changing. My life has changed in the last 13 years. I mentioned Dolly before. He's the coolest little dude, and he's getting older by the minute. And I watch him, and he has so much fun, and he is so much smarter than I was when I was his age. He also probably knows the FNAF lore better than I do, which is a problem that I should probably address at some point. But honestly, I want to be able to spend more time with him. Another sad fact of the matter is I'm getting older. I'm 37 now. The other day, I actually had to Google my own age, and you know that when you have to start like doing math.
Yeah, you know, for some reason, I actually thought I was older than Matt Pat. Turns out he's actually 2 years older than me. I wasn't aware of that. I get it. There's a lot well, Matt's a much more busy person than I'll ever be. I'm not even going to compare my plight to what he's got. I've got different things that are going on, but I couldn't even imagine being as logistically busy as this man has been for the last 10 plus years. And part of me feels that, you know, I've wasted my time by not being more serious about this, and like I missed a window of opportunity. But, you know, what is life?
At the same time, what would you have missed if you were that busy all the time?
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like I've over the last couple of years, I've toyed with being more busy and doing more stuff. You know, outside of just doing the reaction channel, because reactions, this stuff's easy. Not gonna even try and paint a picture of like this is the hardest job in the world. No. Doing reactions is easy. And the editing is, without a doubt, possibly the most difficult part. Especially for stuff like what Nick has to do in terms of getting everything compressed down to the point where we can post it without being under threat of getting copyright struck all to hell. And then, of course, me, you know, just churning stuff out, uploading it, thumbnails, just, yeah, it's just been one constant thing after another that you can't really, I can't really say it's easy, but in terms of just like production line, in terms of just the amount of people, it's very small. It's a very small amount of people who are in the production pipeline. For the longest time, it was just me. And for a while there, I almost lost my friggin' mind because of how much editing I had to do. And then Nick took a lot of the brunt off of me for editing, and I'm grateful to him for that. But I know that if I would have taken certain steps, maybe this could have become easier. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. But there is no point in arguing what could have been, because you never know.
In your head to calculate how old you are over the hill, my friends. Though to be fair, to my credit, I think I'm like the only 37-year-old out there who has an unironic appreciation of Skibbity Toilet. Then again, maybe that's the problem, right? Like, maybe that's not a good thing. And honestly, because this is all about us being honest, there is a bit of a selfish side to this. When you think about it, there's only really 2 ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and look at the last year, this has been the best year in the theorist lifespan ever. Like, no joke. It is our highest view year. It is the year where we launched Style Theory and immediately put our foothold in a brand new space, and that took off, and now we're one of the top style and fashion channels on YouTube. And that kind of completes the trifecta of, hey, we now have a top channel in 4 different verticals that are completely different, and no other YouTuber really has ever been able to do it to that scale. That's amazing. This is...
You said trifecta, but tri implies 3.
Quadrifecta.
Yeah, I think that's the term.
It was also the year where I was able to meet you guys at our Broadway show. I was able to play at the PGA and show that, hey, YouTubers aren't particularly good at golf, but they can make your event relevant for like a couple of minutes. It was also the year that I got to host the Streamy Awards, and it wasn't cringe. I mean, to be fair, the Streamy Awards are always a little bit cringe, but it was the right amount of cringe. When I pull up videos of all my favorite creators, and I watch them, and all of a sudden I start hearing people just casually dropping, that's just a theory.
It's just a theory, a game theory.
Now this is
We've
just a
done it
theory,
several
people.
times in our
At the end of the day,
videos.
it's just a game theory.
That's just a theory. A Freebirds theory.
Also a lot of lore, so if you're a big theory head, proceed at your own risk.
I did not know about this theory.
That's a theory.
That right there, that is incredible. That's the note that I...
And then, of course, there's also Markiplier, who's done it multiple times, where he was, like, playing FNAF, and then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, wow, was that Ghost Bonnie? I don't know. Guess that's just a theory. A game theory.
Well, Markiplier straight up got Matt Pat to come be on his thing, so... You know.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Oh, man.
I want to leave on. And that's how you just know it's the right time. All of those reasons coming together, saying, hey, this is the moment. And that's hard to say, because change is scary. Change is hard. But sometimes the right decision isn't the easy decision. The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF part 332. But that wouldn't be the right decision. I think
What are you talking about,
way
Matt? You already did part 332. Aren't you on part, like, 461 at this point? I mean, Jesus.
Explain it is with a video game analogy. Feels appropriate, right? Whoa, it's game theory, ha! Did it. Check the game part of it off. But the way I like to think about it is Earthbound. I think I've made it pretty clear over the years that that is, without question, my favorite game of all time. Sans' Nest, all that, you're all familiar with that. But what you might not be familiar with at this point is how the game ends. At the end of Earthbound, after you save the world, everything opens up to you. You can revisit every single location that you've been to. You can talk to every NPC that you met on your journey. And it's this incredible moment as a gamer. You see just how many lives have been impacted thanks to your journey. And then after spending as much time as you want talking to all those people, you end up back home.
Yeah.
You go back to where it all began, where you were just a kid waking up in bed and starting your adventure. And even though your mom's there and your dog's there and your weird telephone dad's there, it feels different somehow. Like, sure, this is still a place of love and acceptance and comfort and security, but you just don't quite fit anymore. Because you just traveled the world. You made all these new friends. You are different. You grew up. And your relationship to this place grows up. It evolves. In case you couldn't tell, I'm Ness, which I guess would also mean that I'm also Sans. But I was also Ness in the FNAF movie, which just opens up all sorts of weird canon. Slap a thumbnail on that one. So anyway, there you have it. That is why I'm leaving. I hope you can understand. But that obviously begs the question of, like, what happens to the channels? Well, for the next 10 weeks, we're gonna have ourselves a big old going away party. If Unas Anas taught us anything, it taught us that you probably shouldn't use urine for a personal sauna.
Yes.
But Unis Honest taught us two things. One was to not soak in your own urine, but two was to appreciate the time that you have left. So that's why over the next 10 weeks, we're going to have a bunch of theories that are going to be a lot of fun, revisiting old favorites, getting some closure on things. We're going to see some familiar faces, a lot of awesome stuff.
Are you finally going to finish the friggin' Metal Gear Solid theory? Are you finally going to finish it, Matt? Like, I'm not joking. Okay, the Metal Gear Solid theory, unless I missed it, is still unfinished. He did a part 1, but there was never a part 2. Right now I'm just being silly. But yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see proper closure on theories that are still, like, open-ended, and him finally coming back to it and just be like, holy crap, has it really been 13 years since we touched this? Oh. Well, here's our original thought, but it's been 13 years, and things have changed. Things have changed a lot. So here's our new theory. Our game theory.
Although to be fair, I think it's 9 weeks, and I think we counted this one as week 1. That was stupid of us. That, my friends, is how you wind up getting Wario being 10 feet tall. Mathematical rigor. Should have double-checked the numbers. So I have 9 theories left on each of the channels, but we're going to call them Matt Pat's Final 10 because that just sounds better. At which point then on March 9th, we're going to have that big going-away celebration, Matt Pat's Final Theory, and I just dust away. I stand astride my Music Man, and I just whipping Nene off into the distance. But then something special happens. Do the channels go away with me? No, actually. I've always thought that anyone can be a theorist, right? If you are passionate about a topic and you love to overthink it and over-research it, then congratulations, you're a theorist. And that could range from, hey, I have family recipes that I'm constantly looking to refine, to, hey, I want to create the perfect fantasy sports team. Because here's the thing, sports pros, at the end of the day, if you are in the
when we watch our shows, a lot of what we do is just being theorists.
No, I theorize about a lot of things.
It's like we talk about, like, how
what's going to happen next,
go in any given moment, like, and after each episode, like, how our opinions of, like, what we think might happen have changed based off the new information we have and stuff,
you know,
like, a lot of times I'll start new anime episodes by coming back and being like, while I was editing, I realized this, so I think this is gonna happen.
He does that. He does that a lot. Actually, I remember you like one time you were just like, I noticed something during the editing, but I'm not going to tell you until we're recording. And I was just like, damn it. But, dude, let's just be honest about all this. In terms of theorizing, our theories can much like Matt Pat's theories, they can change over time. He's presenting a theory at the moment of which he is at in that moment in time. Much like us. You remember, okay, do you remember when we were watching Attack on Titan and we started talking shit about Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt? Mm-hmm. Talking about how, oh my gosh, how could they be so awful? How could they be so terrible? And this and that. And then there were people who were, like, by the way, this is before the later seasons came out. This was still in, like, the middle of season 2 or season 3. And then all of a sudden, everyone was just like, how could you say that about them? It's like, how could you be so blind about Annie, Reiner, and Bertolt? You don't understand anything about them. And it's like, guess what? In the end, those people who made those comments were right. But the problem was, we did not know this. Because we were not reading ahead in the manga. We were waiting for the show.
Admit it, I'm willing to bet a shiny nickel that every single freaking one of them hated those characters until they found out different too.
I guarantee it too. Guarantee you they thought the exact same way we did, but they'll never admit it.
Nope.
You know, because they are always just like, no, I always knew that Annie and Bertolt and Reiner were good characters. I knew they were partly the good guys.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing with a lot of Matt Pat's theories. A lot of Matt Pat's theories are off the wall, crazy, absolutely insane. But you know what? In the end, it's for fun. And he doesn't expect anyone to hold these as like dogmatic, like truth of what the video games are. He's having fun. And that's something that a lot of people, I think, didn't notice for a long time, and they were taking Matt Pat way too seriously.
Oh yeah, I took him seriously on a couple of the early ones he did, just because I was like, the evidence he's submitting for these is incorrect. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's more fun when someone throws out a theory and you can't immediately, like, dispute it.
Fair enough.
So, that's just, like, you know, I wasn't like, oh, he's a hack or anything like that. I was just like, he's made some theories I don't really agree with, you know, but, I mean, I've always had fun watching his videos. So.
Yeah. I have too.
Like I said, I still respect him for giving me one of my most fun Dark Souls 3 runs. Where I just ran with his theory of who the actual main character is supposed to be in the lore and created that character and played him. Like I had my buddy hand me off the appropriate items from my in-game character to give to my early game character, so they'd be cosplaying that character the whole run, you know?
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
Statistics and numbers and doing calculations to see if your team won or lost, you're just playing a glorified Dungeons and Dragons game. Hate to break it to you, you're one of us, my friends. And sure, Game Theory is a format that I created. It's a show with this very excitable host who makes a lot of cringy dad jokes and says the word lore a lot. But at the end of the day, it's more than just the host. It is a show. It is a format. And in a broader sense, it is a state of mind. It's a way of thinking and approaching the world around you. It's more than just the host. And when you think about it, not a lot of YouTube channels function that way. We're special in that regard. Like, you're not going to be able to get another Markiplier stepping into the Markiplier channel. And you're never going to be able to recreate Jenna Marbles. And to be honest, you're never going to get another Matt Pat either. But you can have another game.
Like, you can get
you
more
can have
Renegades stepping into what we do.
Yeah.
But if you replace both of us right now with two new dudes, the channel's going to have a different personality.
Yes. Always.
So that's the whole thing. It's like we may be doing the same basic thing that other people are doing, but people who probably stay because they like the way me and you are, you know?
Yeah.
Are what makes us unique as individuals.
And my whole deal with doing this in this way is that I look at what, you know, the dynamics that we've had throughout the years. You know, in the beginning with me and Micah and Sean and Caleb, and then after Sean passed away, you know, we had Bo come in a little bit. Then we had Ben come in. Ben became more of a full-time member, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and we were having a lot of fun. And here's the unfortunate truth about you know, people in the groups that you're a part of. People change, and it's an impossibility to like try and do a thing where you feel like where it's like if someone's mindset changes about things and there's not really much else you can do except for just accept this fact and move on. Because, you know, how improper would it be for me to force someone to be a certain way when they're on camera or anything like that? Or it's like they don't feel comfortable being on camera anymore. It's like, what else is there to say? But dynamics change, and as much as I know that a lot of people, you know, for a lot of people who are just freshly starting on this channel, this is the dynamic that they know. And then adding in Kate, adding in Micah occasionally, adding in Drew whenever he's able to come up, Chad whenever he's able to come up. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Play around with different dynamics, basically.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, I agree with Matt to an extent, but I'm going to miss him as the host to Game Theory, and it's definitely going to feel different with somebody else in the seat, you know?
It is. There's no doubt about that. But again, this is his choice.
Yeah, and like they can definitely keep it going with somebody else.
I think so too. Just they have to like ease people into it.
another film theorist or food theorist or style theorist. I think in a lot of ways, we almost function kind of like the Doctor Who of YouTube, where as one host fades away, a new one kind of respawns in their place. And they're able to put their own unique spin and flavor on the format and make it their unique thing. You have eras of the different theorist channels. And so, you know, my era is fading away and someone new is coming in. Maybe this is the David Tennant to Matt Smith transition, right? That was a good, solid series of episodes right there. So who then is going to be taking over the channels? Well, I don't know if you've noticed this, but fewer and fewer of the words that I'm saying in any given episode are actually mine. If you go down to the credits, you can actually see in the description that there are certain names that have been appearing more and more frequently. Like, yeah, I'm listed on every single one as a writer because I touch every single script, I polish it into my voice. But in all honesty, the bulk of what I'm saying is coming from someone else. It's their research, it's their work. Why should they have to filter their creativity through my voice? I've always envisioned these channels as a place where we could spotlight all sorts of creators. I mean, it even goes back to the original URL of this channel, right? It isn't game theory, it was always the game theorists. Because this was a place where you could find a lot of like-minded creators all with a passion for gaming and education. That's why we had the partner shows like Gaijin Goomba with Culture Shock, or Drake with Smash History, or Ryder with A Brief History, or Austin with The Science, and Lee with The Breakdown. They were all here because we all had a similar goal: to educate people through the lens of gaming. And then YouTube pivoted and then made it so that way doing a channel in that style doesn't really work anymore, but we still tried to keep that ethos alive by making sure that we're regularly covering small indie projects, stuff like OnlyCans, like Mandela Catalog, like OWO. OWO? See? I learned.
Boy.
But if we're doing that for all these other creators, why are we doing it for the creators on our own staff who have been in the trenches doing the research, writing these words to deliver to you over the last couple years? I have been fortunate. I have been so blessed to have this platform available to me that you've given me over the last 13 years. But I think now it's time to pass it on to the next generation. It's time to give someone else a shot. But I realize that I'm getting off track here. So back to the question, who's taken over? First off, it's not going to one person, but rather 4. I would not wish my schedule on anyone. Like, sure, I'm willing to not sleep for the last 13 years of my life, but I feel like as old man YouTube passing this along to the next generation, I should probably do my best to try and make it more sustainable for them. It's also going to people that you're already familiar with. You've seen them showing up in shorts. You've seen them here on the couch with me for GT Live. You've sometimes seen them washing their hair with me in my own shower. Don't read too much into that, but it is accurate. Most importantly, though, they're each an expert in their own individual subject matter, and they've been spearheading the creative of the channels for the better part of the last year. And I think what's maybe the most fascinating about all of this is that each of the 4 of them come to us from a completely different angle. You know, so for instance, you have Lee, right? Lee's gonna be taking over film theory, and Lee has been with us for 10 years. 10 years, it's crazy. I believe he was actually editor number 3 for the channels. We had Ronnie, and then we had Ryder, Foot of a Ferret, and then we had Lee. I think his first theory that he ever worked on was Rosalina's Peach's daughter, Peach is Dead. One of my all-time favorite episodes that we've ever done on the channel. And over time, he rose up. He had his own show on the channel here. He had Breakdown, which were these just beautiful documentaries that were edited in such an incredible way. And since then, he's been spearheading a lot of the creative on both the writing and the visual side. And then, of course, you have Amy over on Style Theory. And Amy is actually a very different case here. When she first approached us, I think it was 6 years ago, she didn't know about the channels. All she knew was that she wanted to learn everything that she could about digital video, and that Theorist was kind of the place that you went to learn that stuff. Like, we were the best when it comes to analytics and optimization and programming and things like that. She got in and she just devoured everything that we threw at her. So much so that she eventually got to the point where she was so good that she was consulting the largest mobile game company in the world based off of the stuff that we were working on here in studio. It's incredible. And all of that while being responsible for packaging somewhere around like 500 episodes across all the channels. And then she helped me and Steph.
Riot? No.
Riot's not really a mobile game company.
Probably people who make Raid Shadow Legends.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Part of me wonders if he's referring to Hoyo.
Maybe.
'Cause Hoyo is huge now, but maybe not was quite as huge that many years ago. Depends on how many years into her learning everything that she started consulting this company in question.
I don't know.
Hoyo really started getting big in 2020 when they put out Genshin. Like, they were kind of known before that with Honkai Impact 3rd, but Genshin really gave him a boost.
For 2 years before the channel eventually launched, hoping that maybe one day she would be able to rise into the hosting role for it. And now here it is. And then, of course, you have Santi and Tom. Santi over on Food Theory and Tom over here on Game Theory. And interestingly enough, they both grew up watching Game Theory. We were their childhood show, which, to be fair, just shows how old we are. Santi would eventually go work at Mythical with Rhett and Link before coming here, where he is bravely spearheading Food Theory and letting me mercilessly make fun of all of his recipes. He's much better than I give him credit for. I just like giving him a hard time. And then Tom, he worked at Disney and Fox, but he knew all along that he wanted to be here, right? Like, this was his aspirational goal. He wanted to write here. He emailed us a cold email outreach. We just miraculously saw it, decided to audition him. And
oh, seriously? Oh, did I not?
The camera.
So yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Camera issues aside, we're gonna get right back into this. So here we go.
he crushed it. His first episode that he worked on was actually watching every single installment of the Pokemon anime to calculate Pikachu's level. And to be fair, that was his pitch. Like, I have asked people to do some crazy things in the past, but not even I'm that brutal. Like, you can only watch Team Rocket blast off so many times, but he's like, this is an episode I'm passionate about. I think I'm gonna knock it out of the ballpark, and I'm gonna show you how committed I am. And he has been so committed ever since. So committed, in fact, that I told him, hey, if you're joining the channels, you do realize that you're gonna have to read every single FNAF book. And he's like, boom, he did it. And we're up here going crazy in the FNAF attic. But not only did he read every FNAF novel, he also read every single Hello Neighbor book. Yeah, he went that far. Currently, he's working his way through Bendy because the new movie's coming up. If nothing else, I think that really proves his level of commitment and also his appropriate level of insanity. He's a bit off the cuff at times. Like, I don't know if you saw on a recent GT Live, but Tom was here on the couch with me, and he actually denied that the moon existed, which was a choice.
Main character from the chat says, that sounds like somebody who doesn't have a flag on the moon.
I mean, that's if you believe it's even that.
The moon?
I don't think he actually believes that, but if he does, we're going to get some weird Majora's Mask theories, let me tell you. When I go out at this point, I am recognized at least 5 times. It's crazy. It's a really high number at this point. And it's a fascinating split because 50% of the time it's like, oh my gosh, you're MatPat. You were my childhood. I loved watching your FNAF theories. And I'm always like, well, you know, the FNAF's still going. And they're like, what? No way. And we talk about the new game, and it's always really fun. But the other half is, oh my gosh, you're MatPat. You are my childhood. I'm watching you right now. I loved your most recent theory. That's awesome. That's such an honor. I have been so honored to be a part of all of your lives. But I think it's time for someone else to have that honor. I think it's time for someone else to get to ruin some childhoods. And that just kind of leaves us with one final question, right? Which is, what about me? You know, where do I go? Do I just retire to a beach somewhere? Do I whip a nene off into the distance? No. I'll still be here. Obviously, first off, we've got our final 10 episodes, like I said, so that's, well, it wasn't 10 episodes. However many episodes are left between now and March 9th.
9. We
got those. I'm going to be on GT Live from now until the foreseeable future, probably until the end of the summer. That feels about right. And then we have the big going away video on March 9th. After that, I, stand aside as Santi, Lee, Amy, and Tom step up and take over the hosting role. But I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be alongside the creative directors talking about programming, brainstorming ideas for upcoming episodes. That's awesome. I love that. I don't want to give that up. But the other cool thing about this is that it opens up the door for me to turn the script. For the last 13 years, I've been commenting on other people's IP, but now that I'm stepping out of those roles, I get to create the IP. Still as a part of Theorist, but I get to create things that are going to challenge those new hosts of the channel. Things that I've had in the back of my mind from years of studying media that I can now make a reality, and the channels can comment on them. Things like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really gonna dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it, it becomes lore-fi. I am so stoked about this. The music is sounding really
dope.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm lorified of that time. I'm just joking. I was trying to make a shitty pun.
I like lo-fi. ARGs interest me.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Could be cool. Could be good.
really good. The animations are coming together really well. That's going to be launching in a couple weeks. We'll see if Lee over on Film Theory is going to be able to solve it. In April, I'm actually going to be coming back onto Style Theory to host a giant fashion show that we're doing there. We all collectively had this thought of like, hey, online brands, online influencers are coming up with their own apparel lines. Why is there no place to showcase that sort of stuff? And then it hit us like, hey, we have a style and fashion channel. Why aren't we doing it ourselves? Creators in Fashion by Style Theory, that is coming to you in April, hosted by me. Some of the time that I'm not hosting the channels, I'm going to be practicing my runway walk. Because let me tell you, if I'm sashaying down the runway, if I'm stomping the runway,
nah, you got to strut, Matt Pat.
Right now. So I need to practice that a little bit. There's also this animation show that we did a pilot for in like the middle of last year. It's basically like if you took Gravity Falls but aged it up and made it about adulting. It's really, really solid. And also there's this video game idea that I want to do for like so long that I've never had the opportunity to really like dive into and make reality. But now it's my chance to step into the role of Scott Cawthon and challenge the new game theorist. There's always been the memes about are Scott Cawthon and I the same person? Not yet, but who knows? Maybe starting later this year. And those are just the immediate things that I have on my to-do list because I want to make fun, cool things for you. And even if it's not a weekly episode, I still want to give those things to you because I think you'll like them. You matter to me. You are so important to me. Every single one of those people who stop me on the street, it's an honor, right? It's interesting. Because of this whole transition, I've been thinking a lot about my time on these channels and the evolution that we've gone to together. In the beginning, right, I was kind of like the edgy older brother where I would talk about like, oh, Link is dead, and let's make some boom jokes. And then at a certain point, I evolved into Dad Pat, right? I became a little bit more mature. I had the team around me. I had to be more careful about who I was saying was dead on a regular basis. Instead of talking about boobs, I ended up talking about Luigi's bulge. That felt like the right decision. At this point, I think I'm kind of evolving into a Grandpa Pat, you know, for lack of a better term.
Grandpat.
And just like your grandparents, hopefully cool grandparents, but just like a grandparent, you know, you don't get to see me all the time. And I don't get to see you all the time. And maybe we call and talk to each other every once in a while. But at the end of the day, that grandpa loves getting to see you. Maybe he shows up at a special event. Maybe he shows up at a holiday. Maybe he shows up at the Theory Wear fashion show. Who knows?
I mean, Matt, you're kind of skipping a step of cool Uncle Pat.
Yeah.
Like, you can seriously be cool Uncle Pat for a while, and then later on, when you're even older, you could be Grandpat, and at that point, sometimes you visit Grandpat like every other day, like depending on how close you live, you know. Well, so I mean, you could always come back for like podcasts and stuff that like you're still around consistently later on that don't eat up as much of your schedule outside of doing them, you know.
True. So, very true.
You never know, but I could see him as either cool Uncle Pat or Grandpat, and I guess it's up to him.
But he so looks forward to seeing you. And the love that he has for you, it doesn't go away. That grandpa is so proud of you. And he cherishes the relationship that you've had so much. And he is so honored to be a part of your life. To have been a part of helping you grow and helping you experience the world. And he looks forward to seeing you at the next event. And if you see him on the street, we'll hang out. And hopefully he brings you cool, fun gifts. I know this is going to sound cheesy. And I know the internet will probably rake me over the coals for crying for one, but I love you guys. I do. You're not just numbers. You're not just ad impressions. You're not just merch sales. What you have done for me, and from everyone I talk to, what I've done for you is special. It's special. When I was in middle school, I had this goal of making the world a better place because I had been a part of it. It didn't have to be big. It didn't have to be curing cancer. But I wanted there to have been a ripple impact. Just because I was there. Butterfly effect and all that.
Well, you achieved it.
Yeah.
We've done it. I think we've been able to achieve something great here. You have taken me on the wildest, craziest 13-year ride of my life. And I'm so grateful. So, Grandpa Pat is going to sign out now, and I'll be around for a couple more weeks. I'll be living around the house for a while. We'll have a big family reunion celebration. Then I'll go off to my little shack in the woods, my retirement home down in Florida, and I'll pop in every once in a while. Anyway, at this point in my notes, I had it written that we're going to start a countdown clock of that, like, final 10 episodes, final 9 episodes, so start that. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. Hopefully the editors don't rip off Unasanas too much. If they do, I hope they change it. And with that, I'm going to say, for one of the final times, not the final time, but one of the final times, as always, my friends, remember, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Well, damn.
Yeah, he needed a hug after that one, man. Damn. So
I don't see
yeah.
why the internet would rake him over the coals for crying. It means he means what he's saying.
And it's because, here's the thing about it, it's just, there's certain sides of the internet that are just going to judge and do whatever and say whatever. And I think that's nonsense.
That matter in this situation.
I know, it doesn't. Like, all that matters is that Matt Pat is happy and that he's going out on his terms. Couldn't ask for anything better. And honestly, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I mean, everyone who I've heard talk about Matt Pat says that he's an absolute sweetheart. And I'd love to meet Matt Pat eventually. I would
always much rather see someone leave this way than, like, find out something horrible that they did, and that's why they're gone now.
Yeah.
Like, he's a stand-up guy as far as everybody knows. So.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't
He
like
has made a lot of people's lives better. Like, entertainment does that, you know. Like, that's why I'm kind of here doing what we're doing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy
if we can
doing
help
this.
one person who's in a down mood feel a little bit better, then awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh. Well.
And I mean, like I said, I've disagreed with Matt on theories before, but he's cheered me up before when I've been in mediocre moods.
Same.
So
very much the same. And you know, we talk about.
I hope that he guest hosts some episodes occasionally.
I would say he would be down for that.
At least like once a year, he'll just come back and just hang out on an episode or something, you know. 'Cause
I guarantee if there's not a FNAF if like the last one's not a FNAF theory, then if there's one big FNAF theory that comes out, he'll probably do a guest appearance, and he'll probably just they'll probably just be like, "There's like, and behind this door lies the secret to all things FNAF." They open it up, and it's Matt Pat in there, and he's literally like burning all the evidence, and he's just like, "If I can't figure it out, then you never will." And then they're like, "Matt, no!" And then big explosion, and then at the end of it, it's just like, "Where's Matt Pat? Where's Matt Pat?" He's gone. It's like, I'm sure we'll see him again somewhere.
Animatronic Matt Pat jump scare.
Yeah, exactly.
With his hand on his, you know, it's like.
Yeah, except he's got like the evil face, like the. Oh gosh. So yeah, that was a tough one, man. And
he also said you're going to be seeing a lot more of these over this coming year, and he didn't extrapolate on it. I'm kind of worried to an extent about YouTube, but I'm an anxious person, so.
Well,
I'm hoping this is not the beginning of like a mass exodus from YouTube, and that we're gonna be left behind by like all the people who matter on the platform, you know.
Well, here's what I'll say. This is why I'm really wanting to branch out and do other things. You know, like the ideas that I've shot the way of Lee and Jacob and I've told you about. And if we're able to do stuff like that and expand what we're capable of, then I think we have an opportunity to truly do something great. And not only expand what we're doing here, but just keep the creative flux going. Because as much as I like doing this, you can't, like, we're still hinging upon the content of others for the main crux of this kind of content. Whereas if we were to create something of our own, imagine how hypocritical we'd be. It'd just be like, and you are not allowed to react to this. How hypocritical would we be if we were to do some bullshit like that?
I would be like pissed off if you decided that.
No, I'm never gonna do that.
I would be like, no, I fucking want to see all the reactions like to what we did.
Same. I want to see that. I definitely want to see that.
It's like I'm already like, you know why I'm stoked about our movie coming out? It's not really because it's finally finished and everything quite as much as like I'm really interested to see what like Chicago reacts. And,
Oh yeah.
Shoot, I forgot his name, but like the SCP doctor.
Oh, Sherman.
Yeah, Sherman.
Site 42.
I want to see what they think. Yeah.
I'd love to see, Site 42. Love to see what they have to say.
I'm really hoping Sherman will do like a reaction to it.
Oh, he has full permission. Yeah. I give anyone out there like who wants to do a reaction full permission.
Even if they hate it, I just want to see what they think.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I would love to see what Sherman thinks. I'd love to see Chicago react.
See how we did.
I'd love to see what Tyrone Magnus thinks. And I also would like to see what M-Dog and I would love to know what they think, because
I mean it's a dream, but I would love to see what Mark thinks, but I don't know if it'll get big enough for him to take notice or not. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, true.
'Cause Mark's played a lot of SCP stuff, so
yeah. Struggle Nation. The thing with Struggle Nation, they commented on our original post of the offer, but they never posted a reaction to it, and I was upset about that. I was like, no, I want y'all to react to it, man. But Struggle Nation, Ecomog, like the whole, like that whole, like M-Dog and his crew, I love their stuff, and I want to know what they think. But all that being said, though, that's stuff that we got coming out, stuff that we got coming forward. Hopefully we can get that out here soon. I mean, we are this close to being finished with it, and I am so excited to see what happens whenever we release it, like what all's gonna happen. But for now, we gotta wait, but hopefully not too long. So anyway, until next time, everybody, signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
This was Matt Pat. Be sure to check out more game theory, and stay tuned to his final 9 theories.
And we will miss you, Mr. Pat.
Yes, we will, Mr. Pathumatric. We will miss you. Salute.
Grand Pat.
Yes.
Cool Uncle Pat, whatever you want.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Take care. Peace.